So when and why did your family move to Vietnam?
Um, it was my grandfather who first went to Vietnam. They're from Guangzhou,
Hmm.
Guangzhou Canton. They in the early 1900s. That's where went to Vietnam to start doing some business. So they were doing businesses there, and then they were going back and forth from Vietnam to China, Vietnam to China.
Oh,
Now until when the communists start really. Or when the China had that civil war with communism and everything.
yeah.
So that's when they really immigrate to stay in Vietnam.
Hmm.
So once they were in Vietnam, they would they stayed there until the Vietnam War.
Yeah. What kind
Yeah.
of business were they doing?
They do manufacturing soap, trading. So they do a lot of type of
Oh,
business, and they were in when they first got into Vietnam. It was Haiphong, the city of Haiphong in Vietnam, and then they moved to Da Nang. So and then of course Saigon, and so they move around too.
yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah,
So where are you born?
I was born in Vietnam. I
Oh,
was
that's
born
really
in Da
cool.
Nang, Vietnam.
And
So
then,
both my parents, my dad was from Canton,
uh-huh.
my mom was from Hainan Dao.
Yeah.
So, and but her family, also immigrated to Vietnam because of the war.
Oh, so they met over
They
there.
met over there, and then
Oh,
that's where they, got married and everything.
yeah. Okay. That's really cool. So when did your whole family, like including you and your parents, move to the US?
I'll give a little story because so my grandparents moved from China to Vietnam, and then my parents, then they met in Vietnam and have a family and everything, and
Hmm.
because of the after the Vietnam War, the communists was in Vietnam, and the whole situation was very bad. So we had to get as a refugee in a Vietnamese boat to
Yeah.
get to leave Vietnam.
Oh.
So we had to try at least we tried at least two times. We got caught, and then when we were doing those refugees at the boat, we have to pay them per person to
Hmm.
get on the boats, and it's paid by gold. So we have to pay a
Oh.
lot of gold
Yeah.
bars to get on the boats. And my family, of course, my parents, and including me, we had seven siblings. So each
Hmm.
time was a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then we got caught twice, and then the third time, that's how we left. And so from Vietnam, we got on a boat and went to Hong Kong. So
Hmm.
we were in a refugee camp in Hong Kong for almost a year before came to US, and that was in 1979.
Okay. What was it like? What did they do to you after like you got caught in the boats?
Well, we didn't get well. Of course, during the boat there were pirates and everything, and they did
Mm.
take out whatever we had. So, majority of the people that were in those boats, the whole life saving everything, the value to them was with them.
Hmm.
Okay, so there's a lot of pirates during that period of time.
Oh.
So our boat, of course, we got pirated. So we lost everything. So diamond, gold, all the stuff. Those are things that we could carry as very valuable at that time.
Yeah.
So of course we got robbed and nothing left by the time we got to Hong Kong. So during that time, a lot of countries like Hong Kong, Malaysia, Thailand, they all know there's a lot of refugees from Vietnam leaving. So they have this certain programs to accept all the refugees. So when we went to Hong Kong, the Hong Kong people, the government, they accepted us as a refugee and put us to a refugee camp.
Okay. Yeah. Um, what language do you speak with your parents or like with your siblings or with your children? Is it mainly Cantonese?
Um, my family is a little special because both my parents are Chinese.
Mm.
My mom is Hainanese and my dad's Cantonese. So my dad he grew up, or actually he grew up in Vietnam, and his during that time, those eras. My dad was born in 1920s.
Hmm.
Majority of the Chinese culture in Vietnam, they're very close knit. they have their own school system, they have their own society, so
Yeah.
stay within. So even my dad, who's pretty much born in Vietnam or live in Vietnam for so many years, he does not speak Vietnamese. He only
Oh,
speaks Cantonese.
okay.
Okay, so my mom speaks Cantonese with my dad.
Okay.
So we speak when, but my mom speaks a lot of Vietnamese too because she was grew up there.
Yeah.
So as a family, my dad tried to keep that Chinese culture, and he only speaks Cantonese to us, all the siblings.
Hmm.
My mom, she speaks Cantonese and Vietnamese to us. Okay,
Oh,
so when we were when we were in Vietnam and overseas, when we speak to our siblings, we were speaking Cantonese.
mhm.
Okay, some Vietnamese here and there. But then when we got to the U.S. and when we start schooling, when we start to go to school, we still speak Cantonese to our dad, and some
Oh,
Vietnamese to our mom, and Cantonese too. But with the sibling, we start to speak just English among our
oh,
siblings.
yeah. That's like kind of the same with my family. I speak
Yeah,
Mandarin to my mom and dad, and
correct.
yeah,
So it's a lot of that's going on right now too. Even my kids right now,
they
we
speak
we
English.
speak we me and my wife, we speak Cantonese to each other.
Hmm.
But to the kids, we still try to speak Cantonese to them. We speak Cantonese to them, but they usually reply English to us. But we try to get them to speak reply in Chinese to us also.
Yeah.
But with them, the siblings, they speak English amongst themselves.
Oh, yeah. That's not that different, actually.
Correct.
Um, so aside from your parents and family also speaking Cantonese, do you speak Cantonese to anyone else, like locally or like your friends?
Oh yeah, I still speak a lot of Cantonese. A lot of my friends, when I came over to the U.S., which was in 1979, in the early in the early and then in the early 80s, majority of the Chinese that are over here are Cantonese
Hmm.
in the U.S.
Yeah.
The history of China, the first group of people from China to the U.S. was Cantonese people,
Yeah.
the Taisan people and the Guangdong people.
Hmm.
But during the 80s, a lot of the Hong Kong people were here. So I have a lot of Hong Kong friends, which I can speak a lot of Cantonese.
Okay.
Yeah. And then as of now, I have a business, I have a company over in Guangzhou also. So I go
Hmm.
back there, I speak a lot of Cantonese.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Um, so what Cantonese culture does your family still kind of preserve, like eating dim sum or other things? And like, what about Vietnamese culture, like also, or does your family like have like a mix of U.S. Cantonese and Vietnamese culture?
That's a great question. As a original Chinese immigrants from any countries in the past, majority of the Chinese will keep their Chinese culture, preserve the Chinese culture as much as they can. So
Hmm.
we still have a lot of Chinese culture, preserve a lot of Chinese culture, dim sum, soup, the Cantonese.
Yeah.
Every time we eat, we have soup, of course, rice, and then um, for us, we're Buddhists, so we still go to temple whenever we can.
Oh.
We try to pray, the first or Chinese New Year, or sometime the first or the 15th of the lunar calendar. We try to
Hmm.
do all those things.
Yeah.
Um, as with food, here we do a lot of Cantonese food because my wife is also from Canton, so
Yeah.
we cook Cantonese food, but we have a mixed variety of different type of food too. So some Vietnamese food and of course Western food. We live in LA. There's a mix. It's a melting pot, so we have a lot of different type
Yeah.
of food. But Chinese food is the majority. Is the majority. It was the major type of food that we eat.
Okay. Um, what is your impression of Cantonese culture, and do you like Cantonese culture yourself?
My impression, well, I grew up as a Cantonese culture,
Yeah.
and I believe the Cantonese culture, from my understanding, is one of the major culture in China also. Okay,
Yeah.
so it is a very very strong culture, and the Cantonese culture is very tight knit. A lot of traditions,
Hmm.
and of course, with Cantonese, we're known for our food, our cuisine.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's worldwide right now. It's just one of the first type of cuisine that the whole world, you know, tried out was Cantonese.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's kind of
so
like the first impression of China for the whole
correct.
world. Yeah.
Well, Cantonese. I mean, I'm Cantonese. I'm proud to be Cantonese, and I'll try to still preserve that Cantonese culture.
Yeah. That is great. Do you have any stories from your parents that you want to add on?
Um, yeah. Actually, because my parents, especially, because of communists, from from my grandparents to my dad, they from China to Vietnam to trying to make a better life for everybody. And with communism, they don't trust that because they've seen the cultural revolutions and they've seen what the communists did to the citizens. So when when China became communist, they immigrated to Vietnam, and then when
Yeah.
after the Vietnam War, the communists took over the whole Vietnam. They had to leave to the U.S.
Yeah.
Okay, now we have they have 7 kids, and they brought the whole family, from the Vietnam to all the way to U.S. and from zero, from nothing to brought us up to where we're at. I think as a parent and to keep the Chinese culture for all these years, I think they did a great job.
Hmm.
I mean, they're not here anymore, but now that I've become a parent, I understand what they went through and why they do all this stuff, and it's a huge sacrifice that they made.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing your stories.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you.